Welcome to the Rynski 3-Minute Share.
Hey, happy people, Ryn here. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, dogs. Actually, we're going to talk about one dog in particular, the dog that taught me how to love. His name was Sawyer Gargolinski, and I adopted him after I had a small dog that disappeared, long story, and I wanted a big dog that could protect itself and protect me. So I went to the Humane Society and looked around and tried some dogs, and none were good. And someone said, "Well, what about that one?" And they pointed to this weird looking wolf like thing. He had like a big mane and big long hair, and he was all brindle and weird looking. And well, I don't know. So I whispered in his ear to test how he would react, and he licked my face. So I began falling in love right away. And when I brought him home, I found out he was not this big protector man. He was actually as scared and mistrusting of the whole world as I was, because I had just gotten out of two really bad relationships. I just moved across the country, and I felt like, I'm done with relationships, and it's me against the world. So now it was me and this dog against the world. And as I drew him out of his shell and he learned to trust and love me, I began to open up and trust and love him. And that would be a beautiful story if it ended there. And I had this great bond with this soulmate dog, because I really had a special bond with him, different than any other animal I've ever had, any other pet. This was a bond that is just so deep and gorgeous. And we loved each other. He was my soulmate. Like I said, that would be beautiful, the end. But that's not the end, because he got bigger than just a soulmate. He became actually my entire world. So anything I did, I had to bring him along. I planned my whole schedule around him. I brought him to work a couple times. I gave him his own blog at the newspaper where I worked. You couldn't visit unless he said you could come in the house. Everything was Sawyer, 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 Sawyer. And then he died. It was unexpected. He was only 8 years old, and my whole world was gone. I mean, everything. So not only did I deal with the grief of losing that dog, got a new dog now, got two new dogs, but I had to deal with grief from all the years before that came rolling up, because I had drank it away before. And I had to deal with the grief of losing my entire life and being. He had actually been part of my identity. I had been known as the chick with the cool dog. So that was the most painful, horrific, exceptionally horrible thing I've ever experienced, in sobriety, for sure. I did not want to drink, but I did want to die. So I had to go back into therapy to get through that and learn a lot of things. I had been open enough to love and trust. That had happened with him. But I also learned that the people or dogs or anything that I love cannot become my entire world. I still need other areas to be branching out, other connections with actual people, and a stronger spiritual connection, activities that I do maybe without my dogs. And I grew so much through that whole experience. So happily now I am in a very healthy relationship, beautiful one, with the man of my love of my life, that man. I have two new dogs that are I deeply love, but they are not my world. And I know the kind of bond that can happen. And it's just a wonderful thing overall. So I wanted to share that story because I know a lot of dog lovers out there. And I hope you enjoyed it, learned a bit, and give your dog a hug for me. Cats count too. Any kind of pets. All right. Remember that I help people get their dazzle back so they can rock their world. More info on my workshops and what I do at rynskirecovery.com. Until next time.